can grow old and large without much competition, hunting prey that comes to the water's edge to drink. But this location has another property that becomes central to our investigation. The Ruzizi works like a funnel. Anything entering the water upstream, whether from Rwanda or Congo, eventually flows through this stretch of the river. Whatever happens hundreds of miles north eventually comes down here. Speaking of which, this region has a history that makes that property highly relevant to our case. Based on Gustav's size alone, any expert would have estimated he was close to 100 years old. But how old was he really? Size alone can't answer that. Teeth, however, they can, which is why Faye was so obsessed with seeing Gustav's teeth. When he finally got close enough to see inside Gustav's jaws, the teeth were almost perfect. Crocodiles lose and replace their teeth throughout their lives, and older ones tend to have worn, incomplete sets, which wasn't the case for Gustav. Thanks to the teeth, we know Gustav was born in the 1940s, which means he was at most around 60 years old. For the first 2 or 3 decades of his life until the 70s, nothing unusual happened in the region. But then came 1972. To understand what happened, it's important to know that Burundi has 2 main ethnic groups: the Hutus, who make up the majority of the population, and the Tutsis, who historically held political and military power. In 1972, a Hutu uprising in the south triggered a massive retaliation from the Tutsi-led government. The army began systematically eliminating anyone educated enough to organize future resistance. In a few months, between 100,000 and 200,000 people were killed. Many of the bodies ended up in the rivers, and when you're killing at that scale for logistical reasons and to hide the evidence, rivers become the easiest solution. The Ruzizi's current being high, it carried many of them south, right through Gustav's territory. This is where Faye's theory comes in. According to him, this sudden abundance of free meat enabled Gustav to reach his